Hello, guys, and welcome to our podcast, Queens with Accents. Zero politics, zero religion, and lots of laughs.
And we're your hosts. I'm Natasha. And this
And
is
I'm
Nadia.
Nadia. Hi, how are you? Today, we have a very interesting topic to talk about. I'd like to talk about plastic surgery, Botox fillers, and all kinds of fun stuff that we do to make ourselves look and feel prettier. How about that?
I think that's an amazing subject, and anyone would be interested in it. Men, women, children, cats.
Cats. Especially knowing that, we as women, we always want to be better than ourselves in the past, better than somebody else, right? Better than, or at least equal to certain celebrities.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with self-esteem, obviously, yes. And I do believe that a lot of women struggle with self-esteem. Great if you don't. If you don't, that's wonderful. You've reached a whole another level of being a woman. That's amazing.
Not me.
Not me either. I still do have self-esteem issues. And I have actually undergone some plastic surgery in the past. And I have tried some of the cosmetic procedures. So I think it would be fun to actually share our experiences and maybe once, like what we would want to do in the future and build a conversation around that.
Yeah, that would be perfect since I also had one procedure and I will tell you which one, and I didn't know about your procedures, so it will be fun for us to discover something new about us. So, bonding over the cosmetic procedures. Cheers.
That's nice. Do you know which one I had? Did I ever tell you? I can't remember if I told you.
No, but I can assume because you
Okay.
kind of sort of walked around it. So something
Okay.
with eyes.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
It's one of the very, very, very popular procedures among Asian women. And I think it started somewhere in Asia. I can't remember exactly where. It might have been Vietnam, and after and or around the war, the Vietnam War, right? Where the Asian women wanted to appeal more to the white men and to be more attractive for white men, and basically they would enlarge their eyes, make their eyes look bigger, because a lot of the Asian women we have, and men too, we have a monolid where we don't have a crease and it's just like one lid, and that a lot of the times makes the eye look smaller than it could be. So in my case, unfortunately, I had a monolid on one eye and I had a crease on the other eye, which created it created a lot of difficulty for me as I was growing up, and it started using makeup. I was like, I don't know how to do makeup because this eye is like this and the other eye was like that.
Was it
It was
noticeable or
it
not, or
was
just for you?
specifically when I put makeup on, it was actually worse because one eye literally looked very small and the other one looked a lot larger. So, and that was something that I've been very self-conscious about. And at the ripe age of 23, I decided that this needs to change. And I had my creases done. It's called a blepharoplasty. And nowadays they do the upper and the lower lid blepharoplasty. I didn't have the lower one done. I had the upper one done, and it's been a while now. It's been I want to say 13 years.
Wow. And how did it go? How did the procedure go? And where did you do it?
So my sister was the one to find the surgeon, which was interesting because I would just go to anyone. I'm like, okay, I'll just look at the reviews. If the reviews are good, I'm just gonna go, right? No, she actually approached this extremely with extreme cautiousness, right? And she read, not only did she read all of the reviews online that she could find, she also started the surge nationwide. She did
Okay.
not just go, locally. And I'm very grateful for her actually, for her doing that because I was nowhere in a capacity to do that. I was busy with school. I was busy with a 1-year-old. I would not have been doing so much research. So what she did, she found this surgeon in California, and he was Asian himself,
Wow.
and majority of his clientele was Asian. Her reasoning behind that was that surgeons who live around Miami and do blepharoplasties, most of the time they do it for older white women, which is a totally different procedure for a younger Asian woman versus an older white woman.
Right.
Older white women, they just want to get rid of extra skin, right? That's sagging. Versus a younger Asian woman, we have to not only get rid of the skin, we have to get rid of some amount of like I don't know what it's called, under eye fat, under lid fat.
Basically, that's what it is. Technically, that's what it is.
Right. And so basically she said, you know what? No, we need to find a surgeon who specializes in Asian eyes, and that's what we got to do.
Right.
So yeah, we did that, and we found a guy in California, and his office is in Beverly Hills. If I'm not mistaken, it's still there in a very, very old building. But it's a very tiny office, difficult to navigate because of how tiny it was. At some point in my head, I was like, this does not look sanitary. Like, because it was so small and it was so old that I was like, okay. But, he was actually very good. He was actually very good, very experienced, perfectly nice guy, and did a really good job. And I still love the result.
I think it's amazing. I would never guess if you didn't tell me.
What about you? What did you get done? I don't know at all.
First, I want to apologize that I'm eating.
Go ahead.
Remind that we started our
good.
podcast with eating, and Nadia betrayed me today because she ate twice.
I already
Okay.
ate.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait.
Doing that.
I can't wait.
I know, but I'm like this rude, obnoxious person eating.
You're not rude,
But I
obnoxious
have to show you my
person.
food.
Oh, look at that. That looks good.
So besides, arugula doesn't look very
Yes.
pretty next, but I made my bagels today. And my bagels, well, I couldn't cut them properly. That's how they look. They don't look nice. But I made them from cottage cheese, flour, and baking powder.
Wow. Okay.
Baking
Did you have to boil it first? You boiled it first and then you baked it?
Did you just really actually ask that question, that I actually boiled something first?
Yes, because that
would be another level. I
But
don't do that.
that's how they're made. That's how their bagels are made, like that. You boil them first and then you bake them. I didn't know that either until probably like 3 weeks ago when Instagram decided to show me a recipe that I will never use.
I have probably, they showed me this, them, they showed me the algorithm, showed me a recipe of cottage cheese something. And I stopped obviously on that video and I watched it, and I have like videos and recipes with cottage cheese coming, pretty much every
Consistently.
second video.
Consistently, yes.
So,
I mean,
and I
cottage
have,
cheese
like-
is good for you. There's a lot of protein in it.
Yeah, so it's not a proper recipe of the bagel. I never would do that. I'm not a baker, honestly. But I thought, okay, that would be fun to do because it's like 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. While I was talking to my mom today, I made those bagels.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's so easy. And it's protein. It's basically nothing else. And you don't boil it. You just show it in the stove.
Okay.
And you bake it for 25 minutes. It's not a bagel as we used to eat.
In the traditional sense of word, okay?
Not at all. But I don't know, it's healthy, and I'm eating now. But going back to the subject that we've been talking about today. So my procedure was done in Moscow when I lived there. I had big under eye bags. Like my under eye spots, that's talking about the fat under eyes. So I wanted to get rid of it because every morning I would wake up and I wouldn't see my eyes. So how I found my doctor at that time, when 100 years ago when I lived in Moscow, Russia. I'm not gonna say 100 because it's better than
than telling an actual date.
Yes. And so how did you look for whatever doctor you needed? Those times, ancient times, it were the magazines. So it was like a glamour magazines actually, when you could find any kind of information. So I basically found my plastic surgeon from the paper magazine, from the actual ad. Okay, there was no reviews, nothing. You just go there.
You go there and you trust your gut that it's a good
you
doctor.
pray. Basically, that's what happened. Was a woman. I was a young woman, and she talked to me. She told me basically, she looked at me, she says to me, whatever, how they do, like how much you can pay, probably, I guess, because like that ice was like, okay, so that amount, she can do that, it's like you can see that's in the eyes, like calculation. It was funny. But anyway, so I did. She pulled out the bags from us. She said I had a lot of tissue
Uh-huh.
inside my eyes. Actually, one eye came back. She said it would possibly come back after some time. She did
Mm-hmm.
pretty good job with my scar. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could never, you
So
couldn't see the
essentially,
scar.
was that like lower eyelid blepharoplasty?
Yeah,
Isn't
but
that
it's not black.
right?
She was supposed to be, as I found out later, she was supposed
Uh-huh.
to also pull my lid up
Uh-huh.
because when I took out, all that fat and extra skin goes down, she didn't do that. She just took
Uh-huh.
it out, extra fat, and stitched it.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that was extra fell under my eyes. So, and since that, I had like, big wrinkles formed under my eyes that I never had. It formed like probably like 2 weeks after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nothing I could do about it because it's just extra skin. And that is my like dream to get rid of it. And
Mm-hmm.
as I age, obviously, it's not getting better at all. So, but it is what it is. But now, besides just that, upper lids, no, lower lid surgery, and now I need to pull up everything.
Pull everything up. Well,
Yeah.
that's the problem with us. We always want perfection. We want it to be better, and then we
Oh,
want
I
it to be
want to
even
be
better.
look younger.
So, okay, so look, say for example, if right now nothing was an issue, time wasn't an issue, money wasn't an issue, anything would not have been an issue, what would you have done? Hypothetically.
Nose, nose,
What do you want to do with your nose?
small,
You want to make it,
malinky, malinky, small,
I mean, your nose is not big to begin with, so I
small
don't
nose,
know.
and yeah, basically everything else. I won't do anything else. I don't want to do boobs.
You don't want to have big boobs?
No,
Okay.
never wanted that.
You don't want big butt?
No, I'm good. I want to be just that. I want to be stick.
So you would just want to do a like a rhinoplasty and like a what is it called? What is that called again?
Facelift?
Facelift. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like I
Okay.
wouldn't do it if I was younger. But now, yes, I want to do that. I want to
Okay.
do facelift. I want to do brow lift. I want to do rhinoplasty, eyelid, everything.
You
But
see?
otherwise, I want to be. I don't want anything changing my body. I want to be stick for the rest of my life. So, but I know that a lot of women want, yeah, big butts and big everything. And
I
I don't
wouldn't
know how you
say
sleep on those boobs.
I don't know. I like to sleep on my stomach sometimes. So yeah, that would be difficult. So I wouldn't necessarily think like say for example, sometimes I talk to my husband and I say like if I had money, I would do this and then he would call me crazy and walk out of the conversation because he doesn't want to hear it.
Okay, I want to
But
hear it.
if I had money and time and everything was like in my favor, right? What I would get done is I would have a nose implant right here. So I would have like a better nose bridge, which again, an Asian thing. We're very much concentrated on our noses and our eyes. So like mine, I have a little bit, but I don't have a lot. So I would want it to be higher. And the way that they do it, they like, because my friend he put in like a silicone implant and it started slipping. Can you imagine? It like would slip on one side or the other side of his nose, and he would have to like readjust it like in the morning. It was horrible.
So, what's your morning routine?
Yes, I brush
Readjust
my
your whole
teeth and
nose?
readjust my nose. Yes. So, in order for that not to happen, he told me what we need to do is we need to take cartilage from our ribs so that it's not like an implant, it's like a transplant, right? So you're transplanting cartilage from your rib onto your nose. Then it stays because it's your own tissue and it like fuses over or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a plastic surgeon, so I don't know. But supposedly in that case you don't get like that movement going on there. So, but that's a pretty big procedure in and of itself because they would have to go into your rib, right, to take that out and then place it in your nose.
I think they also
So,
do it from the ear.
um, yeah, but then my ear's gonna be messed up.
Yeah, they probably will.
Then my ear's ugly. I don't want an ugly ear. My ears are cute now, so no, I don't want that. And I want like a good lift here. So I don't think my ear cartilage
You're
would
gonna
be
have like
enough.
Georgian nose. And
No,
I live
not
in
like
Georgia,
that.
like state.
No, not like that. No, but like I want a like a bigger bridge. Anyway, that would be number one. Number two, I would do a laser lipo. I would do a laser lipo where they would suck out all of my fat all around and just like do it like that. Yes. And then I might have a boob lift. Not necessarily like an implant, but like a lift.
Oh, did you feed? Did you breastfeed?
I breastfed, but it wasn't like I was pumping more than I was breastfeeding, but still I think that's worse if anything. I think that's worse than breastfeeding.
See? So I need to delete this little hump here. I'm going to get rid of this little hump and just a little bit, write it up a little bit and maybe make my nostrils. I don't know if I can do
Oh,
anything.
but you can give that hump to me.
Yeah, exactly. I can, yeah, it's a probably will be useful bone there or whatever it's
That's
made from.
funny. That's funny.
I don't know what it's made from, bone or
But
whatever.
but you see how like it doesn't matter if we look good or not. We'll still find something that we want done. And I think that it does have to do with like self-esteem and with the way that we perceive ourselves and the way that we perceive aging, right? Because like in Western culture, you don't age because aging is shameful.
I think, yeah, aging is like probably the moving factor for most of people. I'm not even talking about women, it's for men as well, because a lot of men do plastic surgeries now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of facelifts for men, eyelids, everything, neck lifts. They actually lift necks now. They lift everything. And I mean, there's a point why we don't talk about, age, because, and we don't want to say age. It's just because that's how other people perceive you
Right.
based on your age, not how you acting, not how you look. That's secondary. But when you're official passport age, that's what make people think if you're like, young or you're like ready to go and kick the ground.
Right. No, definitely. Ageism is a thing, and a lot of it happens subconsciously, I think. And people don't necessarily know, they're not aware that they're ageist
Yeah.
until something happens, right? And something like blatant happens, and then they're like, oh, wow, I am ageist. But apart from that, like, say, apart from plastic surgery, have you done some like cosmetic procedures?
Yeah, I've done Botox.
How'd
I
you like
haven't done
that?
it in a while. I did it in my forehead, around my eyes. Yeah, I did that. I like that.
I don't know. I still haven't done Botox, and I don't really want to.
I don't think you need it, or you definitely don't need it yet. I did it
Well,
later.
it's a preventive measure too, right? So you can do it
I
preventively.
don't know how can you prevent it because you're just doing it, but you're still aging. It's not.
So what happens is
I don't think
supposedly,
it's gonna
right? The
change anything.
theory the theory behind that is that the wrinkles, they are a permanent crease in your skin, right? That cannot be removed after it's already there, the wrinkle. So well, it can only be removed if you literally do a facelift, right? So if you do Botox preventively, that crease will never form, and therefore you won't have a crease. Therefore you don't have a wrinkle.
Yeah, I don't believe that. And I've seen
It's just like I don't believe in
no
that.
because when you do Botox,
Uh-huh.
you basically do what? Muscle
You
atrophy.
relax, correct. You relax the muscle. So the muscle
You relax
doesn't move
muscle with
and it
time.
doesn't make the wrinkle.
Yeah. Or you can do it when you have no wrinkles, or you can start when you begin when you started seeing some wrinkles. It's not
Right.
gonna change anything, but you're gonna delay the muscle atrophy that can come basically in its coming with continuous usage of this Botox, whatever. There's a lot of different Dysport,
Right.
a lot of different things right now on the market. And basically, then you cannot even stop because once you just let it go a little bit, you have to get it sooner and more often because your muscles are already not as firm and elastic as they used to be, and your eyebrows can basically go, down faster. So I think it's like it's not good to start early because you're actually affecting your muscles that
But I don't
hold it.
I'm not starting early, not because of all of those reasons. It's because I'm chicken shit. That's why I
Well,
don't want to do it.
then I've seen people who had like the huge wrinkle between their eyes, that fold, and I've seen people who had it very strong fold between their eyes, and it's completely smoothed out, completely.
Well, they probably also put some fillers in there too. That's how they did that.
Even with Botox, just the muscles continuously relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. It lets it go, and with time, it
Oh,
just
you
smooths
mean
out.
with time, like several cycles, not just one cycle. Okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
not right
yeah,
away, but it does relaxes, and it just like so. After the first one, it already looks better because the
right.
muscles.
Obviously,
Yeah, and this time there's like nothing. It's gone. It's completely
right.
gone. So I think preventative measures like this they are good for providers, but I don't think money wise. But I don't think it's good for person who receives it.
But it also depends. Like, say for example, like I know by seeing my mom age, right? I know at like what age approximately she started having wrinkles and like deep ones, and there are people who actually age a lot younger. Like they start having those wrinkles a lot younger. So I think it also depends on your background, on your like skin texture, how you're, all
Yeah,
of that.
people age very very differently. I'm gonna stop eating now. I think. Let me just
You're
take
full
a sip
now?
of coffee.
You're full now?
I'm in the middle of my meal, but since you betrayed me, let me put it down.
What, peer pressure now? Are you
Yes,
accusing me of peer pressure?
yes, exactly.
You're funny.
Or like my mom, right? I have very thin skin. My skin is very, very thin. Just, that's how I was born with thin skin. And not very dry, but kind of on the dry side. My mom, on the other hand, has very thick skin and oily skin. And at her 70s, she just basically started getting wrinkles like, I mean, like probably like 69 in her 70s, something like this. She had no wrinkles
You see?
because
So it depends.
yeah, her skin like holds it, and I mean she has more weight also on her. But I think that helps as well, just to the cheeks to
Yeah.
have
Yes, fat.
hold fat longer.
Yeah. Fat amount on your face also helps a lot.
Yeah,
Um, and you see that's why people do fillers. The people who have a skinnier face, and in order to give themselves like a younger, more youthful look, they use the fillers because that the fillers make them like plumper a little bit, right? So I personally never had fillers for like the cheek area, but I had the lip fillers twice in my life. The first time I did it, the most painful experience of my life, I said I will never again get this done. I was literally crying. I was like tears out of my eyes, even like I couldn't control them. And so I said, never again will I do this. And then I went to Colombia, like a year ago, and this very nice dermatologist, very nice lady dermatologist. She actually talked me into doing that. And she's like, don't worry, I will numb you up and everything. And she did. She did the dental blocks where they numb your like teeth, almost like for dental work, right? So she numbed everything over here. She gave me 4 injections in the gum, one, two, three, four, and then she injected the lips. So it's been a year. I want to say like almost half of that filler is gone already, but it still holds a little form. So I'm pretty happy with the result. But again, I would never ever ever do it without the type of anesthesia that she gave me.
yeah. I did that about 2.5 or probably even 3 years ago. So I got nothing left. I forgot about it. But when you started talking about this painful experience, oh my gosh! And I did have numbing.
Numbing
Numbing
cream.
cream. I
Yes,
don't know if I would do
yes.
it
I had
without
I
it. It
had I
still
had numbing cream too, but it
still
didn't
was
work.
painful.
It didn't work at all.
No.
And for me, it was like the most painful experience ever, and I don't wish it on anybody. And for some reason, as far as I know, because I don't know, I haven't really shopped around much, but as far as I know, in Miami, not a lot of people actually do the dental blocks. Very few people do them. Reason being is that it's hard to work with lips after dental blocks because the dental block kind of swells the lip to begin with. So it's not real, true, original form.
Okay.
And
It
so you
makes
have
sense.
to be extremely good at at your injection technique to actually do it so that when the swelling from the dental block goes away, the lips are actually even on both sides and everything.
I know.
So you have to
So
be,
you
very versed in
so
doing
you
that.
had no pain after she did that.
I had pain after the dental block wore off, but it wasn't horrible pain of like feeling every injection because that's what
Yeah.
happened to me the first time around. And I was like, you know what?
It was so bad. And then lips on the next day were they normal size?
Oh no. Oh, of course not. They're not normal
I'm
size
like,
for like 2 weeks. They're not normal size. They're
oh really?
like that. Yeah, they were really
I
bad.
had it for one day only.
Well, I
But
don't know. Mine were really really swollen for a
oh
while.
my God, no, I had it for one day and I'm like, how I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to tell my kids and I'm like, I had an allergic reaction on my lipstick. A new lipstick. I applied new lipstick, I had an allergic reaction.
Liar, liar. They might have believed you back then, but right now I don't think they would believe you.
No, no, it was horrible. And also I had like that and also I went to I had a hair appointment that day. I don't remember what I told them, but I do remember what I told my kids.
That's
But probably I
hilarious.
told them the truth. I don't remember. But it was like I'm going to my hair appointment with the lips that takes half of my
But
face.
but you see how like I would not necessarily like you see there's certain lines for me that I'm like, okay, this is too painful. It doesn't matter how pretty it looks. I won't do it because it's too painful, right? But for some people that line is not there. They're like, no, as long as it looks pretty, I'm gonna do it.
I think I would do it again with the numbing because of kind of like I know that pain will pass. And I did cry, and I mean, I didn't cry like, but the tears did run down my face
Yeah,
because it's like you can't. That's just reaction of your body. It
but
just
it's torture.
it's painful, but but then you have with like my lip sore was more on the plumper side, and yours I think as well. Just I
I mean, well, yeah,
because
my
this
my
age thing.
lower lip normally is very thin. Normally is very thin. So this is mostly still the filler. It's not as plump as it used to be when she just injected it, obviously, but it, my normal lip does not look like this. And yes, it does make me look prettier, right? But if on one side of the things you put how I look, and on the other side of things you put the pain, not for me, not for me. No,
I'll take it.
I'm
I wouldn't do like I don't know probably a surgery without
Well,
anesthesia.
obviously, yes, but even certain,
Not that far.
even those things, no. But it was so funny when she numbed me up, right? When she put the dental blocks in, because the swelling started coming out. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I think this is it. Yeah, I don't need anything else. Look, they're already big.
Oh, listen, they do plastic surgeries without like general anesthesia. Anesthesia. That's a
So
difficult word
look,
for me to
so
say.
that laser
Under
lipo,
local.
the laser lipo that if I had money and time, I would do. Laser lipo is actually under local anesthesia. You don't have to be out for that because it's not really as painful and super, super horribly invasive due to the
Uh-huh.
laser.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I'm like on one hand, I know that it's safer. Obviously, you come out of it faster, and like you don't have potentially any complications with that. But at the same time, like I'm like, how am I staying awake, and they're like doing stuff on me, like cutting or anything on me? It just like I don't know.
Well,
I'm
it's
such a
sort
chicken.
of, listen, it's sort of the same. Have you ever had any like fillers done or like any
No, no fillers. I don't like.
no
I hate
fillers?
fillers. I don't like how fillers
No
look.
threads or
No.
you know what I had done? I had done mesotherapy, which is not fillers and it's not threads, but it is mesotherapy where they actually go underneath and they like deposit like the hyaluronic acid and everything like not hyaluronic acid, something else. I'm forgetting the name for it, but anyway,
Sculpted. No.
No, it's no, Sculptra
Um,
is a filler, but it's
no,
not a filler
Sculptra is a
basically.
filler, yeah.
It's
Sorry.
not what I had done. It was not a filler, and they do it with a cannula, and they do it while under local anesthesia. So they would like inject you with lidocaine over here, and then they would put a cannula through and deposit the medication wherever it is that they're depositing it. Right? I didn't really see it, but I believe it's sort of like that because you only feel the pinch from the lidocaine,
Uh-huh.
but that's it. You don't everything else that they do, you don't feel. It's not painful, but it is weird. It's weird to feel like there's something in your body, and I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh. And at some point, they actually like, because I mean, you cannot go in without touching anything because the needle and the cannula itself is plastic, right? The cannula is plastic, the needle is not plastic, obviously, but you cannot just go in without damaging something. And so I heard something rip inside of my face. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to faint right now. And I looked at her, and I guess she saw it in my face. That I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And she's like, don't worry, it happens all the time. So for her, it was like a regular Tuesday, right?
For
And I
me,
was
but
like,
for me, it doesn't happen all the time. That's my
right?
face.
Yes. And I was sitting there in that chair, like sweating bullets.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And what does it
But it
do?
wasn't painful. It gives you like it makes your body makes produce your own collagen, and so it makes you look fresher, like more rested, and your face looks like it has this glow to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not really a filler. It doesn't make it bigger, right, per se, or it doesn't sculpt certain areas of the face. It just makes you produce more collagen, and then it gives you like a youthful, rested look.
It's basically like scalp is supposed to work. Scalp produces. It's not a filler. It makes your body to produce collagen in the areas where it's injected.
So I don't know, but I didn't see like
Never
a
done that.
difference,
I
like
see.
as far as but the name itself, right? Sculptra. It kind of
Yeah.
it kind of like again, I'm not a specialist, so I don't know. But the name itself kind of makes you think that it shapes you in a certain
Supposed to.
way,
Yeah.
right?
But it's
But
not.
this
It's
one
not
doesn't.
supposed to
This
be.
one doesn't do that. This one's just like making it. Oh, the name of it is it's radies. Radies.
Oh, okay. I heard
It's so
about that.
it kind of makes you
I thought
glow,
it was
right?
a
It makes you
filler.
glow. No, it's not a filler.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't. I asked her several times. I was because I don't want a filler. I'm like I don't want to. I don't want that. Have you seen those people who have like too much filler in their face and it's like
Who
it
did?
looks
Who didn't see them? That's what I don't. I don't
no
even want a little bit because it does change. Like your face becomes basically bigger and wider. It just
right.
changes the shape of your face. It's
Yes.
yeah. It's for a while. It looks. I don't know. I just don't. Even if it makes you, I don't think it makes you look younger. I think it actually makes you look older.
I
Honestly,
think it
skin smoother.
depends.
But
I think it depends. Like I don't think someone like who has my facial structure would benefit from that because I already have like very high
right, you
cheekbones.
already
I
have
already have,
cheekbones. Yeah.
I already have a lot of like angles and stuff like that. So I don't think that's going to be beneficial. But for someone it might be. It just depends on on case to case basis.
I would inject fat though because the fat is gone from my cheeks
Yeah,
and I have
where's that fat gonna come from? You ain't got no fat in you to inject over
that's an
there.
issue. That I thought about that actually. I thought about that, and I'm like, okay, they'll find somewhere.
She's
Somewhere
like,
it
I
has
can
to.
do a fat transfer, right? But where from? Oh, you know what? They could fat transfer fat from there to the lips. Oh, ooh, that would be great.
Yeah,
And
that's actually better.
it's like
Yeah,
a permanent filler from your own fat in your
yeah,
lips.
they do that, but I
Wow.
don't think it's less painful though.
I don't think no,
I
but
think
like,
it's more painful.
but at that point you're out. At that point you
Or
don't.
if
You're
you're
like
out, then
you're
yes,
out,
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Maybe in my stomach, maybe I'll find some fat.
There, no,
Yeah,
there's nothing there. I'm sorry,
unless
girl.
it's got when
Girl, I'm
when it's
sorry.
when it's
If you
full
want
like
some, if you want some of my fat, I'll give it. I'll donate it to
okay,
you.
please,
That's how great I
please,
am. That's how
please.
great I am. I will
You have
personally
no
grow
fat.
it for. I'll grow it for you, nurture
You
it,
grow
and
it
then
for me.
donate it.
Okay, let's grow it for me. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
because I
that's
can
what
do
we'll
that.
do.
I'm very good at that. I wish
Well,
somebody would take fat donations.
I don't think people can not have fat at all. It has to be fat somewhere. You
I
cannot
mean,
exist
yeah,
without fat.
but you
There's
you don't.
brown
I don't
fat
think you have enough. I don't think you have enough
for
anyway
for
to like
cheeks,
for anything.
for cheeks and for lips. Come on,
No.
they'll suck it out from somewhere.
No, you
Like
don't have
suck it
enough.
out.
You just don't have enough. It's funny.
I don't have.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
that's.
let me ask you this. What would be something like for you, you say the boobs is something that you don't want to do, right? But so imagine what if you became like this huge celebrity and they're like, "Well, we want to work on your image and like we would want you to change in like this and this and that way." What would be something that you would absolutely under no condition ever 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 do?
I will not do my boobs.
even under
No,
those conditions,
I would.
even
I will put some like I put some push-up bra,
two push-ups bras, right?
three size bigger.
Which is true. Yeah, you could do that with a push-up
You
bra.
know, you get bigger size. You put some socks there or whatever people do. I don't know. That's like I don't really feel comfortable with like other stuff. If it was like necessary, like it was a like cosmetic procedure, sometimes you're forced to do something like that, not for not visual views, but you have to do it because of some other like health issues, for example. That would be acceptable. Otherwise, I just don't want any foreign objects in my body. Like like I said, how do you sleep on your stomach? Because that's how I sleep, like on my side,
Right.
and then I wake up
Yeah.
and I cannot move my neck because I was like that.
Definitely.
That's not good too, because it gives you wrinkles when you sleep on your face like
I
this.
mean, yeah, that's true. But then I can't sleep on my back all night long though.
No, I don't know how do you get. I can fall asleep on the back. It helps me
Yeah.
on my back to fall
Yeah.
asleep. But to sleep the whole night, I wake up always with my neck hurt because that's how I go to sleep in one position and my body does whatever it needs to do. There's special pillows. I have special pillows. A pillow basically. It's flat on one side and it's a
Uh-huh.
little bit raised under your
Uh-huh.
neck. So I cannot. I have this pillow probably for like at least 10 years. I will not
Maybe
change it
that's
for
a
anything.
problem. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe you need to change it.
Maybe, but it's like I cannot sleep on regular pillow, which just goes like even like
Right.
this.
No,
I need
I mean maybe you
under my
need the
neck something.
maybe you need the same one but like a different one. You know what I'm
Maybe I
saying?
don't know, but it's like, but how is it gonna help me? Because it holds my neck in this position that it's like straight here. Do you
That's
sleep
that
on a special pillow or the
no.
regular
No,
pillow?
I tried that. It didn't really work for me well.
And am
Maybe
I like that? No,
yeah,
I can't. Like I cannot do that.
right. I don't know. Like I don't sometimes I sleep without pillow cuz my cat wants to chew on the charger, which is by the bed, so I would just like put the pillow over the charger and then I sleep without the pillow. But that's a different problem. That's a different problem.
That's
Have
a
you seen?
different kind of sacrifice.
Yes, that's yeah, cuz I want my
Like you
charger.
can get another pillow to
Chargers are
cover the charges.
expensive. Chargers are expensive. Listen,
Another pillow.
have you seen
Woman.
those they're like Instagram videos where women from like various Russian speaking like USSR, post USSR countries are saying that they used to be like a 5 in their country and then they came to US and they're like a 10.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Have
Yeah,
you seen those? Don't you
yeah.
find that interesting? Don't you find that so weird? And those are literally like very pretty women. Those are very, nice looking women. And they're like, yeah, I used to be a 5. And like,
I don't believe it. Do you believe it or just? I think they're just kind
I
of.
believe it. I believe it because you know why? I've seen some of them. Some of them are. It's not all of them. Obviously, not all of them. I do believe, but some of them really truly do look like it could be true. I do see a trend that majority of them, I want to say, are a little bit on. They're not. I wouldn't say they're plus size, right? But they're not skinny, skinny. So, and I think that it's culturally like that. It's culturally demanded from a woman to be skinny to be considered pretty.
Well, that's true. That is true. And but it's I don't know in our countries, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, whatever you say, but we didn't have people first of all severely overweight as it
No,
happens in
but I'm not
America.
even saying severely
So that's one
overweight,
thing.
right? But even if you're a little bit on the heavier side, because like my whole life I was dieting ever since I was 10 years old.
Yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah.
But the reason for that is what? Is cultural, like how you're perceived by everybody else,
But that
right?
is
So
everywhere, yeah.
even if you were just a little bit overweight, you were considered fat, basically. And people would treat you a certain way, or like call you names or whatever it is, and obviously you wouldn't feel comfortable in your own body like that. There was no like body positivity when I was born and raised.
I wouldn't say, I don't remember anyone, like, we had a few girls who were, like, not standards. Um, but I don't remember anyone, like, I don't remember them having a hard time at school because of that.
I
My
remember.
closest friend was, like, very overweight for our standards, right? Um, and I don't remember, I don't know, somehow it like escaped us. I don't remember that. Like, yeah, I would think, in my head, or talk to someone behind that person's back about the weight, but no one would like shame her in,
No,
in
I
their
remember
faces.
people were doing that. The reaction actually varied because there was a girl who was like very much bullied for her weight in my school, I remember, but we weren't close, like we weren't in the same grade or in the same class with her. But my friend, also my closest friend, she was a little bit heavier than me even, but she wasn't bothered. It was something like more like inside of her. She had more like internal value that she recognized. So it wasn't really bothering her that people would tell her anything like that. Or at least she wouldn't show. At least she wouldn't show that it would bother her. And so people would just leave her alone, right? Because
Yeah.
you can only tease a person if a person reacts, right? If a person's not reacting, it's not fun to tease that person. But in general, I do believe that our perception of our cultural perception of pretty women is that women are supposed to be skinny. Here's another example for you. I've seen this video where the girl is like walking around on the streets, and I think she's in Kazakhstan because that's the impression that I got, right? That she would walk around and ask guys, "Would you date a girl who's overweight?" And just the recording the interviews with guys, younger guys, and she would approach different guys, and she would approach skinny guys, she would approach heavier guys, she would approach athletic guys, like different ones, and ask them, would you date a person who is overweight? Majority of them said no.
Yeah.
They said
Yeah.
no, I would
It will
not.
happen here as well. It will happen here as well. I'm on dating sites and I know what's happening.
But
People
no,
put it in their
but
biography.
okay, but understanding of what's overweight for us, right, in our culture, and understanding what's overweight for Americans is a little bit different.
Well, I still don't know. What does it mean in being overweight in America? 300
So I
pounds?
no, not 300 pounds, but I still think that women that we consider overweight in our countries are considered normal size here. That's why that trend, when they're like, "Oh, I used to be a 5 in my country and now I'm a 10." Because people really like would think that they're fat over there and over here they're not fat, they're just a little bit curvaceous.
Yeah.
It's a different like it's a different feeling.
See, I have this strange thing in my head. I don't see weight in people unless they're like really overweight. I just don't see it. I don't understand how, because probably I did not have this problem, so I never concentrated my mind on it. So when
Right.
a person tells me like, oh, I'm overweight, I'm like struggling with it, and I'm like, I don't see that weight. I'm like, where are you? Oh, like for me, it's like I don't see it. But I wrote a book. It's
But
called
you're
Future of
also
You.
not a man.
I'm not a man, no. But yeah, it's like you would tell me, like you told me, like I'm struggling with weight. I'm like, what area? She's exactly struggling. And like my friends also, oh my God, I gained so much weight. I can't, like, look at me, I'm so fat. And I'm like, where? Like, I just don't understand. Like to me, they look like look people who are a little bit bigger than me. It actually to me look better, much better than me. Because like I don't, for example, I don't really want to be as skinny, but that's how it works for my body. That's my genetics, I guess. But like I don't know. But what I want to say, but because I never had this problem, but I wrote a book with psychological thriller. It's called Mean Girl, and it's about a girl who was bullied for her weight in high school, and I had to get in the head of this girl, and how she felt about herself, about her weight, and about people who were bullied her. So it was, it was interesting experience to me to put myself in that situation. But I still weight blinded. I don't know how you say it. Just
I
I
mean,
still
that's
don't
good. That's
understand
good.
it.
If you have that filter that you don't necessarily like judge people by their weight,
No,
but
I understand. Like this morning, I talked to my mom, right? And she's like, was getting her ticket, and one of the girl in this travel agency, she said she was so skinny. And I asked her sister, why was she so skinny? Does she eat okay? Like, maybe she's sick. And I'm like, Mom, if she was like overweight, like very, very overweight, would you ask her that question?
right,
And she's like, no, but I thought she was like sick maybe, and I'm like, why would
right.
you ask if the person was sick? Like that's a second, another side to this
That's true.
issue. Like people would always tell me, why you're so skinny? Like why
Right.
you're so skinny? Like are you
Yes.
sick? Are you okay? Do you eat a burger? Like I
Yes.
heard that so many times. Like that's also like not something you want to hear. Yes, if you're overweight, you get these comments, but you are like from that side. But that's like I never. Yeah, it gets annoying, but at the same time, I know that's where people want to be. So I don't take it as an insult because I know maybe they're jealous because they say,
Right.
it's different, different approach to that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I have.
Another interesting like beauty standard, except for weight, like say is skin tone that I found here. I found out about it here in Miami.
Oh my God, remember Yana?
Yeah, she's white. She's
No,
white, white.
no. Remember what she told that she cannot go out. She's like ashamed of her very very white skin, like
Oh
pale
no, I
skin.
didn't remember that. I
Yeah, I
didn't
have it
remember
on
that.
video.
Oh no, you know what? That's interesting that you said that because in Asian culture, you the paler your skin is, the better it is for you, and you're considered like a
Yeah, what you
royalty
said on the video actually.
if
Yeah,
you have very pale skin. So coming here to Miami, right, where everybody's tan, and it's pretty to have a tan, right? It like created a very weird resonance in my head. I'm like, how come? Wait a second,
yeah.
right? That's not what I'm used to, and for some time, I actually preferred to be a little bit on the tanner side, but now I'm back to like not wanting to do that. I
Yeah,
don't
your
know
skin is
why.
very light tone.
You see, but that's what you think. In your head, it's light toned. In my head, I'm still on the darker side, and I'm like, why am
Oh,
I so
really?
dark? Yes, and I don't even tan.
You
Like,
probably have half tone darker than me.
I don't know. Do I? Look, you
Put it
see?
like this against the camera.
Yeah.
You're just a little bit. You're on the pinkish side. I'm on the yellow side. So I think it's just a tone, a shade of the skin rather than a tone
It could
shade.
be. It could be. But you see how, like, depending on where you live, different things are considered pretty.
Yeah, but again, see, but I looked always at this differently. Like I never was bothered by it, even though among my friends and everyone else, tan skin and darker skin was considered prettier and more beautiful than pale skin. Again, I got too many compliments about that. Why are you so pale? Compliments. And I never was bothered with it because I'm like, I'm okay with my pale skin. It doesn't bother me at all. I actually was even lighter
But
younger.
but you see what that tells you? That tells you that confidence. That's what actually is pretty. I used to know this
I'm not
girl
answering, it's just lighter.
and she was by any not by any measure or standard that I knew, I could not say that she was pretty. But in her head, she was. And no matter what anyone told her, she thought she was pretty. And that confidence, it wasn't like an annoying confidence where, like, oh, I'm better than everybody else. Not like that, right? But just like knowing inside of yourself and carrying yourself through life like that, I know I'm worth something and I know it's not something small. Like
Yeah.
I'm a worthy human being and I'm pretty inside and out and nothing bothered her.
Yeah, but there's like other things that I would change, but no amount of money would change that. Unfortunately, if we talked about if you had all time in the world, if you had all money in the world, there is no amount of money. Like I would make my shoulders smaller. Like my shoulders are huge and straight, and everybody thinks that I'm very tall because of my shoulders when they see me in pictures, and then they see me and I'm like 5'5". I'm like I'm not a tall person. I would make my feet smaller.
I don't know why you're talking. I'm 5'1" and I have not grown ever since I was 12 years old. So
Yeah, I'm
you cannot
but
complain.
my shoulders. I want but don't you want to be taller? Like I want to be taller. I want
I
to be
would
like
want to be taller.
five
Yeah.
seven. Like
Yeah, I would want to be taller.
great, and that's probably hate. Probably actually no hate. Height probably one of the things that a lot of people want to change,
Yeah.
especially men.
Yeah,
I mean, but
height.
it's unchangeable. It's
Right.
impossible. And size
Right
of my
now
feet.
it's unchangeable, but you never know. They're working on it.
Yeah, I mean, you do it with, you
Whoever
can
they
do
are.
it with growth hormones, but they don't always work. And yeah, how can I make my feet smaller? I cannot do that. Can I
Oh
cut
no,
my toes?
no, not
That's no amount
not
of
right
money can
now.
change that. And yeah, but that's about it. That's very uncomfortable. I'm very like self-conscious about my shoulders, about my feet, and about my leg. Like I want to change that. Like, but what I can change boobs and butt, I don't want to.
That's funny. She's like, I don't want new boobs. I want new feet.
I want new feet. Give me my new feet. I want like Cinderella feet.
That's
So
hilarious.
my kid's size of shoes is 2.5. Like try to find shoes in that size, and mine is 8.5, 9.
Wow. Okay.
Like, and and it's always like, oh, there's big, feet, and like you have to laugh at yourself. How do you accept yourself? You have to laugh at yourself before other people can laugh at you. That's how you
Exactly.
can change it.
Yeah, that's a very
Don't
good
let them
advice.
laugh at you.
That's super because yes, if you do it first, they
Yeah.
can't do it already. That's it. You've done it.
Yeah, you cannot go further than that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
just
So
insult
that's
yourself and that's it.
I wouldn't say insult yourself. I would say like have a little bit of a healthy self-criticism a little bit, right? To where you can laugh at yourself but not at the expense of yourself, but
Right, right.
like you laugh at it as in, lightly acknowledging that yeah, I'm not perfect, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. How much more time we have? Because I have like going deeper in the age the subject if we have any time.
I don't think we have any time
No?
today per se because I think we're already at about like 1 hour, but
Oh
that
wow.
is but that
Really?
is a great subject. That is a great
Yeah.
subject to talk about as far as like aging and maybe
Yeah.
some other anti-aging things that we do, secrets.
Yeah, but also I want to talk about how like people look and accept your age and treat you at your certain age in different countries and how it's an our SNG, what would you call SNG? So
I
former
don't
Soviet
know.
Union
Right.
is much the threshold for acceptance of or like age, younger age, and older age is much lower than
Yes,
here. That I want to
definitely.
talk about because it's huge. It's a huge difference, especially for men, when you become an old person, an old woman,
Yes.
and when you're still okay, you don't have to die yet. You
Yes.
can, you're good to go. But because in our countries, it's like, after a certain age, I don't even want to go there even a little bit and say what age because it's a big good subject to talk about.
That would be a great subject. So, guys, if you like us, go ahead and subscribe to everything that all of our social media. You'll find us there.
Yeah.
And next time we'll talk about aging, ageism, in different countries compared to the United States and what differences we found living over there versus here.
Can you talk about Korea, for example? Have you been there or do you know
I
about
haven't,
like
I
because
haven't
Korea is a different, if it's a very
Oh yeah,
different story for beauty
definitely,
standards and
definitely.
everything.
Correct. Yes. I haven't been to Korea, but I've been reading a lot about like the cultural differences actually, like because it's something that I have on my bucket list. I do want to go to Korea, so I've been researching a lot about it, about history and culture, etc. language. And yeah, definitely that's something that I would want to bring up.
Yeah, that would be great. And we did our first podcast online, and I think it went fine, and I enjoyed it. I just need to get a different.
Perfect.
That's it. Sounds
Alrighty.
good.
Thank you
Okay.
guys.
Thank you so
Subscribe.
much, and thank you for watching and listening us. We'll see you and hear you next time. Bye bye.